Okay, I feel like there's a crisis in healthcare, like as far as like all around the board, but specifically in home care. So I'm my mom's caretaker, and I am a nurse that has been a nurse for almost 20 years. And when my mom came home in my care, I was like, oh, this is a breeze. This is a piece of cake. One thing I want to say to y'all, and I'm going to be offering different tips, is stay on top of things always. Don't assume nothing. When I say this, listen to me. Don't assume nothing. Always communicate with the doctor. So most doctors' offices have an app where you can email the doctor. Whatever you do, stay on top of things, because there's so many hands in the pot. There's so many things that went wrong. And I know about this. I've had so many delays. When my mom came with me, there has been so many delays in orders, things getting sent to the wrong address, orders being written wrong, fax machines going wrong, labs not getting to the proper place. So one thing I can advise you to do is stay on top of, if you got to call the doctor's office every day about an order, about if you're not getting, don't wait around for them to call you. Stay on top of them. I'm not telling you nothing I heard. I'm telling you something I know. Because the average person will be waiting around. And so just say if you get out the hospital, right? And they say, okay, we're going to send you this wheelchair. Call them. Call them people until you get some answers. Call them until you get some answers. Okay, one scenario that happened with me. When my mom came back home, this was like after her second hospitalization, they said they were going to continue her physical therapy services. So like a week or two had passed, and I'm like, what is going on? Why is it taking so long? And I waited, and I shouldn't have. Something rang in my head, like maybe the orders are not written properly. So when you're getting discharged with nursing services and occupational therapy services, always find out the name of the agency so you can contact them personally to see if they got those orders. Because you need a doctor's order for like things like a wheelchair, a bedside commode, a hospital bed. If a nurse needs to come in to do, let's say, wound care, if they need to come in to do Foley care or whatever kind of visit, you have to have a doctor's order. And typically, like if you're admitted to the hospital, they usually get those things in order, but they don't always do that. And so if you're needing something and you're coming home while you're in the hospital, if you're in the hospital, talk to that social worker and tell her what you need so she can talk to that doctor and get that order for you. That's the best transitional way to do it. Make sure they have the right address where it's going, and get all the information from them. Like, okay, who are my home health services? Who is the company that's providing me this bed and wheelchair? Because things can go left quick from little bits of things that you might not even think. So like my mom, they had the previous address, but it was going to my address. So they sent a wheelchair to her address. Nobody was home because she wasn't there. She had moved. And so they left we were wondering why the wheelchair never got sent to my house. Is because I had told one, like, I think, but the crazy part was my mom's bed, hospital bed, came to the right address. It was the same company, but somehow they got a hold of her old address. So what I'm saying is, you have to stay on top of them. Like, even if I won't say call them every day, but call them every other day until you get the results that you need. Check the orders. Hey, do you have an order? Normally, what was art? It could even be something simple as the wording in um the orders. It could be something as simple as wording. So you might want to ask them like okay, so let me give you a prime example. If they give you an order for nursing services, um, physical therapy, occupational therapy, just say if you have to have all three of those services, right? I had an incident where they just wrote, okay, so when you go, okay, so just say if you bring your family member, sibling, whoever home that you're taking care of, just say if they go back to the hospital and they get admitted, right? So when they come back home, that home health service needs a order just to say that they can continue service, because when that patient goes to the hospital, there's been a change of status. So to continue those services, they need specific orders. It can't just say continue home health services. That's what they did in my case. They said continue nursing home health services. That did not cover everything. That only covered the nursing part. The discrepancy, I figured it out, and it just came to me, is the order has to specifically say continue nursing home health services, continue PT, which is physical therapy, and occupational OT services. It has to say all three. Okay, sorry, I got interrupted, but it has to have all three things on it. So takeaways: stay on top of things. If you go to the hospital, please get with your social worker. Really voice to her what you need. You might not always get the orders based on what the doctor writes. It's up to the doctor. But if you need something going home, if you feel that you need something, please let them know. Please let them know. Your caretakers, if you can be there with them, with your patient, with your person you're taking care of, family member, whoever, please be there with them to be their eyes, their ears, and their mouthpiece if you have the ability to be with them. Because there's a lot of times where I had to go and explain things for my mom. And my mom's an intelligent woman, but sometimes, she's 80. Sometimes you just get intimidated when you're in front of a doctor. Sometimes you get brain fog. Sometimes the patient is going through so much, they can't think straight. So if you can be there, chef's kiss, to be their eyes, ears, and to be their advocate in every possible moment. I know you can't. People work, they have lives. But as much as you can be there by their side to help them make informed decisions, please do so. But like I said, if you're in the hospital, you definitely want to get with your social worker. If you really feel that you need something, push the issue, because you're the one who has to go home and deal with all of this. So push that issue to get what you need so they can have that order ready for when you leave out. Everything's ready to go. But in the fact that you miss the order or you miss something, then you can go to your primary physician. You're supposed to do a follow-up like a week or so after you get out of the hospital. So if you're not in the hospital, you want to get these things done with your primary physician. You want to have your primary physician write these orders, okay? And if you're needing nursing services, like to just come in, like what my mom does, they just come in and they come in by like a couple days a week, and they provide a service for her. And then she has physical therapy. She had occupational therapy. But remember, you have to specify. Could you please get the doctor to write an order for, because I'm weak or whatever, see if your doctor has to specifically write an order for occupational therapy, physical therapy, whatever you need. It has to be written separately. You can't just say continue with home health services. It has to be specific. Home health nursing services for whatever, physical therapy per whatever, occupational therapy per whatever. And then Once they get you to that agency that you may have an agency in mind, or they might refer you to there's so many agencies, then the insurance has to approve it. And so it might take up to like 3 days for the insurance to approve it, for them to come in and get you started with care, admitting you and stuff like that. Takeaways: advocate, make sure the order's right, make sure all your addresses are right when it comes to receiving equipment, nursing services, whatever. And never assume that they're taking care of things. Always stay on top of things, always, until you get the answers you need. Because, honey, the things that I went through is just, you would think that I was lying. And so just know, like, everything is not always set in stone. You could be like, well, why this and why that? But it's not always the patient. Sometimes the patient is doing everything in their power to do things right. But you have to rely on other sources, people, things, fax machines. You have to rely on different people putting their hands in the pot for things to go right. And that can go so wrong. So I'm just letting you know. Okay, that is one thing, several things to do. And I hope this helped you. Have a good day. Talk to you later.